Hello, welcome to this little mini episode Between the Frames. My name is Captain McKay, and here we're going to talk about the King Kong stop motion that I just put up. Now, if you waited until you watched it on YouTube, it would have just gone up a couple of days ago. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it go up in installments over the course of the past couple of months, little by little, whenever I had time to work with it. It should come as no surprise that I did a Kong video. I mean, I've been banging on and on for years about how much I love Kong. If it wasn't for King Kong, the original movie, I wouldn't be doing probably any of this stuff that you're watching on YouTube as far as animation and any of that kind of stuff goes. I love King Kong. It's like my favorite, pretty much anything ever is the original King Kong movie. So that kind of opened up my eyes to stop motion animation and giant monster movies, which, I mean, anybody that's followed my channel for any length of time knows that I love both. What originally, I guess, inspired me would have been my favorite movie as a kid was King Kong, the original one. Yeah, you saw this coming, right? So as soon as I had the opportunity to do something like that, I decided, yeah, let's do it. The little technical aspects of it, what we're looking at is 2,055 individual photos were taken. Now, they didn't all get used. There were some clips that I shortened to keep the flow, the pace going. Other shots I just didn't like how they turned out. Didn't think they looked good, so I didn't use them. So I'm going to try and cover as comprehensively as possible every question you could possibly have about the making of that King Kong stop motion. So, let's roll. Alright, so let's go through and introduce you to the stars here. Obviously, first and foremost, up front and center, you got Kong himself. This is NECA's first release of King Kong that they did a little over a year ago now. I've done a full-on review of this figure. I've sang its praises last year. I love it. I think it looks great on camera. You get a couple different styles of hands there. You get wide open and fists. You also get an extra head, but the extra head it comes with is a very similar expression, and it doesn't really look like that. Like, they don't match very well. So what I was able to do is I was able to get one of these heads off of eBay and just modify it to look like it has a closed mouth. And with this, while I was animating, I was able to switch in between my shots so that it looked like, he was roaring in some shots and his mouth was closed in others. There are newer versions of Kong, like that one over there, and there's even a different one than that. But they come with a similar looking head sculpt to this one, but it has a hinge in the mouth, so you're able to open the jaw up and down at your discretion. I personally prefer this head sculpt to the hinged jaw one. I just think it looks more like the original Kong, but honestly, the other one's not bad either. What you have here also is these gripping hands for, holding on to things. These actually also came with that other Kong. They didn't come with this one, but all the parts are interchangeable since they're basically all the same figures, just with a couple different accessories here and there. But yeah, that's what that is. And this is the Beasts of the Mesozoic series, Styracosaurus from Creative Beast Studios. Really cool figure. This series has been around for a couple of years now. There was a whole early series that was all different, like raptor dinosaurs, and now they started moving on to these horned dinosaurs, and this was the one I think I liked the best. Now, I saw, forget who, I want to say it was probably Laura Legends or somebody do a review of this, and the colors to me popped. I thought it was cool looking. I really liked the designs and the sculpt work and everything. Looked really good, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'll find a use for it. Turns out I made the right call, because obviously the original 1933 King Kong movie had a lot of deleted scenes and things that were removed and, just kind of never really made it into the movie. And among them was a scene with a Styracosaurus chasing the hero characters, the guys from the boat, across the log, and that's when Kong comes over and dumps them all off the log. People would have asked, why wouldn't they just run back the way they came? They don't need to sit on that log while Kong dumps them out. Well, it's because this guy would have been on the other side. So, since he got cut from the actual movie, I decided, let's put him in mine. Of course, he didn't fare too well, but, whatever. Basically, I just took a bunch of, motifs from the original King Kong score, the 33 one, and, put them together, strung them together, and we'll see what we got here. I messed that all up, but it's, it's a work in progress. It's alright, I guess. So here we have the set. I have the little LED lights that are illuminated across the back. This is just like a USB string light. People like stick them on their TVs and stuff. And you can control all this too, so the saturation and different colors you can get. It's all, you know, you can do whatever you want with it basically. I just kept it looking like regular bright white lights because I was going to change it to black and white anyway, so it didn't matter. Plus it gave the background a cool little effect. So basically the base here and most of the rocks and everything are the same insulation foam that I use, that I've used in a number of dioramas. You can get it project panels at Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere. They're about $6 a piece and very versatile for like creating really lightweight scenery. I've used it for all the scenery I've used in my stop motion animations, as well as like a lot of the scenery that you see laying around my lab, just stuff I like to use. Essentially, you can paint it however you want. You cheap paints. You got, I just put some glue down and put like fake grass and terrain and stuff down on it. And it looks good enough on camera. And these rocks are all totally, you know, modular. These are all just standalone pieces that you can rearrange and how you see fit. Same with those little rocks over there. Now the trees, those that you see there and this little piece here, they're basically that same foam, just cut into like long rectangles. And then what I did was crumple up a piece of paper, just regular paper, and then wrap it around those in tree-like form, I guess, if you want to call that like tree-like form. So obviously that gave it a little more personality, some kind of texture, and painted them different shades of brown, some dry brushing and stuff, so it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not great, honestly, but it looks decent enough. And, you know, for branches, I would just do it, again, with smaller and smaller pieces of paper that I would crumple up and twist and do what I needed to do with to get it looking decent. But yeah, it's a very simple set. There's really not much to it. I just kind of needed it to look decent. Now, as far as foreground stuff, I basically would take pictures of kind of how I wanted to frame the set, and I would put a few of these pieces like in the foreground, and then I would just kind of cut a mask around them and put them in front of like the entire animated sequence. That would enable me to be able to reach the figures I was animating without having stuff in the way of like in between the camera and the set. And it kind of harkens back to like rear projection and matte paintings and different stuff, those old techniques that they would have used in the original King Kong, because my initial plan with this was that I wanted to try and do it as authentically as possible, I guess, if that makes sense. In other words, 24 frames a second, as little digital effects as possible, and just trying to do it in as close a way to the original movie as I could. Now, obviously, there are a few exceptions where I had to like use digital masks to get rid of little stands or certain things, you know, but I mean, I guess masking was around back then too, but none of it was digital, obviously. But yeah, overall, very happy with how the project came out. I think it looks good, and yeah, hopefully you do too. I mean, if you don't, I don't know why you're watching this, but thanks, I guess. I want to thank you again for watching that animation and this video. If you're watching this and you didn't see the animation, you're probably really confused. But I would love it if you could go watch the animation, share it, do all that kind of stuff. You know, it's YouTube. You gotta beg people. If you want some more animation, I got plenty of content. Do I dare call it Kong-tent?
Brother, this guy stinks!
Thank you so much for watching. My name is Captain McKay. We'll catch you in the next one. Later on.
That's crispy.